Welcome to the swamp. My name is Thornscale, and this is more tips and tricks for Valheim with no spoilers. And if you haven't seen the first video I did, don't worry about it. You can watch them in any order, and I'll have a link to that one at the end and also down in the description below. And the first tip is how to kill things a little bit more easily. If you press the control button, you'll go down into stealth mode, and while you are stealthed, you can walk right up to things behind them. And when you swing on them, you'll actually do extra stealth damage. Now, the extra stealth damage also applies to anything that's not aware of you when you do damage to it. So like this deer isn't aware of me, so I can just one-shot it with a bow because I got the stealth damage on it, even though I didn't press control to go into stealth mode. And now that you've got some easy deer meat, let's cook it. Now, by default, you can put one stand over, but you can also stack them like this, right kind of parallel to each other, so that you can actually load up even more meat on top of these. You're not restricted to just having one over your fire. Now you can cook a whole feast at once. And the next tip is to get yourself the rested bonus. You get the rested bonus by being in shelter near a fire and just hanging out for a few seconds. You'll notice the comfort number up in the corner. That number plus 7 is how long you will have the rested bonus for once you get it. And the rested bonus gives all kinds of bonuses like increased stamina regen, increased health regen, and increased experience gain. Now the way to increase that comfort number is to put down various decorations. Like one of the first ones you can get is a deer hide rug. And so I'll put that down. You notice that my comfort number will go from 4 to 5. So now it adds an extra minute to my rested bonus when I hang out here for a little bit. 12 minutes instead of 11. And one of the first materials you're going to want to hunt for is flint. You can find flint by the ocean, rivers, lakes. It's always going to be near water or in the water. And you'll probably want about 20 pieces or so to get started. Because one of the first things you want to build with it is a Flint Axe, which is going to make chopping down trees way faster. Not to mention also be a better weapon. But once you've got that, you can also build a chopping block. The chopping block is an upgrade for the crafting station. It upgrades the crafting station to level 2. You can put it inside or outside. Just as long as it's near the crafting station, you can see how there's like a little glow going inside to the crafting station. And then when you walk up to the crafting station, you'll have yourself some new recipes you can make. And speaking of stuff you could make me your best friend in the whole world if you hit the like and subscribe buttons. For a small channel like mine, it's pretty much the only way that the algorithm is ever going to notice me. So I really, really appreciate it. But here we go, on to the next tip. Which is, as you're out and adventuring, wandering around, getting attacked by Greylings, you have a secret weapon, the handy-dandy torch. As soon as you lift one of these up, the Greylings and also boars and necks will stay away from you. And you can still have a weapon equipped in the other hand if you want to smack them around. They won't even fight back. And that applies to all forms of fire. So like while you're building, or just if you want to keep like your base safe, you can put down some standing torches and they will stay away from that. Same thing applies for campfires. Campfires and standing torches, they won't want to get close to. So they'll just kind of hover around you. But yeah, never actually come up to attack. But if you do find that you've been croaking a bunch out in the world, and you got a bunch of death markers all over your map, you can just right-click on them to remove them. Good for freeing up the map a little bit once you've collected your stuff from your tombstone. And say you come across some of these ruins in a place where you want to build a house. You can just start swinging at it with an axe, but that's going to end up taking quite a while. A faster option is to drop a crafting table nearby, switch to your hammer, and then use your middle mouse button to just start disassembling the bottom layer of the ruins. Once you destroy the bottom layer, the top layers won't have any support anymore, so the whole thing will just start crumbling down pretty quickly. And this will go much, much faster than if you were to try and take an axe to all this. Not to mention the fact that it just makes it a lot faster to get to the top layers, which you can't really get to quite as easily otherwise. There you go. A couple seconds, and you just dissolved the whole house. But say your own house is starting to get that kind of gray, rotten effect going. That is caused by not having a roof over part of the structure. So the long-term solution, what you're eventually going to want to do, is make sure that you have all of your structure covered with roof. The short-term fix, though, is to use the repair button on the hammer and just left-click on the structures. It doesn't require any materials or anything like that. And then we come to an easily avoidable situation, which is if you're using the low roof and build yourself a small house, you can actually fill the whole house with smoke, and you get this particle effect around you, start losing health, and it can and will kill you dead. Fortunately, this is easily fixed. Basically, all you have to do is just provide yourself some kind of chimney or a large window that's high up near the roof, or some other way to easily let the smoke escape. Like, you can swap out this low-angled roof for some of the higher-angled roof, and that'll provide enough space for the smoke to come out. But you can also create chimneys, you can get creative with it. You just gotta make sure that you have enough space for the smoke to get out. Because the smoke can get out of a space like this, a pretty hefty space, but anything kind of smaller than that, and it'll actually have trouble just because the particle effects themselves are big enough that they can't fit through smaller gaps. But yeah, then you got a nice clear house that you can walk around in, and as long as you don't actually stand in the smoke itself, you'll be fine. And then, what is probably the most important tip for the whole game? Hiding the UI so you can take your beautiful screenshots. There's no way to actually remove the UI in the menu, but if you press Control and F3, it'll make it all disappear. So now you can take all your beautiful screenshots without a UI to clutter things up and get in the way. And then, to make it all come back, just same thing, Control plus F3, and you're back. And there we have it. Thorntail's tips and tricks for Valheim. But I also want to let you know about the Valheim server that I just recently opened for my Discord community. You are welcome to play on the server. All you gotta do is join the Discord. You can find the link to the Discord down in the description below. And you're welcome to play on it when I'm streaming, or just whenever you want. It's always gonna be up. Anyway, thank you very much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.